They told you 10,000 steps would save your heart, but what if everything you believed was a lie? For decades, seniors have been chasing the 10,000-step goal, believing it's the golden key to heart health. But startling new research reveals a shocking truth. It's not the number that saves your life, it's something far more powerful and personal. If you're walking in circles chasing a number, this message could change everything. Before we go any further, I want you to pause and think of someone you love. Your grandchild's laughter, your spouse's gentle hand, or the morning sun on your face. You're not walking for numbers, you're walking for moments, for memories, for one more dance, one more laugh, one more I love you. If that touches your soul, hit that subscribe button, because here we fight for more of life, not just more steps. They told you 10,000 steps would save your life, that it was the secret to vitality, youth, and heart health. That if you just hit that magical number each day, you'd ward off disease, reverse the damage of aging, and stay strong, balanced, and independent well into your golden years. And for a while, many of us believed it. We bought the pedometers, we downloaded the apps, we chased the number. But here's the truth, spoken not from a place of criticism, but from a place of compassion, clarity, and care. The 10,000-step rule didn't come from science. It wasn't born in a research lab or discovered through decades of cardiovascular studies. It came from marketing. It came from a pedometer advertisement in Japan during the 1960s, where a company introduced a device called Manpo-K, which literally means 10,000 steps meter. And just like that, a number turned into a global belief. We turned that number into a mantra, a measuring stick, a silent judge that loomed over every day. Some of us celebrated when we hit it. Others felt guilt or shame when we didn't. And in doing so, we unknowingly let a made-up number define our health, our self-worth, and our rhythm of life. But your heart doesn't care about a number. It doesn't count steps. It responds to how you move, why you move, and the intention behind every movement you make. The latest research, real medical science from respected institutions, has shown that as little as 4,000 steps per day, just a simple, gentle walk, can reduce the risk of heart disease in older adults. Not 10,000, not a marathon, just 4,000 steps. That's about 30-40 minutes of light walking, spread throughout the day, at your own pace in your own way. And that truth should feel like a breath of fresh air, because it means the pressure is off. It means the door to healing and longevity is more open, more compassionate, and more accessible than you may have ever been told. It means that you don't need to chase someone else's metric. You just need to listen to your body, your breath, and your spirit. Walking isn't about hitting a quota. It's about connecting with yourself, with the world around you, with the rhythm of life that pulses through every tree branch, every beam of morning light, every bird song that greets you on your journey. When you walk, especially in the stillness of dawn or the softness of dusk, you're not just exercising your body, you're realigning your soul. You're calming your nervous system, lowering your blood pressure, boosting your circulation, and inviting joy back into your cells. We've been taught to think of health in cold numbers, cholesterol counts, blood pressure readings, BMI scores, and yes, step counts. But the human body is not a machine, it's a miracle. And what it needs most is not perfection, but consistency, not intensity, but presence. When you walk with love, with gratitude, with the awareness that each step is a gift, your body responds in ways that science is only beginning to understand. We see it in the elders who walk with their grandchildren, holding hands and sharing stories. We see it in the widow who walks to the park every morning to sit on the same bench her husband once loved. We see it in the man recovering from heart surgery, who takes slow, measured steps down the hospital hallway with tubes still in his arms but fire still in his spirit. Those steps may not be fast, they may not be long, but they are sacred. And that sacredness is what fuels your healing. So let's talk about purpose, because when you walk with purpose, you walk differently. You're not rushing. You're not forcing. You're not chasing a number or a goal. You're walking because you want to feel alive, because you want to give your heart what it craves: movement, oxygen, circulation, expression. You walk because it's your time to breathe, reflect, and simply be. You walk because something deep inside you knows that healing is not just about what you do. It's about how you do it. It's about waking up and putting on your shoes not out of obligation but out of reverence. Because you can. Because your legs still carry you. Because your feet still remember the path. Because life, despite all its aches and losses, still invites you to move forward. Every step is a conversation between your body and the earth. Every step tells your heart, I'm still here. I still care. I still believe in life. And that belief is more powerful than any number. There's something beautiful that happens when you let go of expectations and just start walking with an open heart. You begin to notice things again. The scent of jasmine in the air, the way sunlight flickers through the leaves, the laughter of children riding bikes in the distance. You feel the rhythm of your breath, the steady beat of your heart. And suddenly, you realize, this is what health really is. Not a number on a screen, not a prize to win, but presence, awareness, peace. Let me tell you something even more powerful. Studies now show that seniors who walk with emotional connection, who walk with music in their ears or talk with a friend, or walk to a place of spiritual reflection, experience even greater heart benefits than those who simply walk to meet a quota. Why? Because the body thrives on joy. It thrives on meaning. The heart beats not just to circulate blood, but to keep love flowing. Your heart is a muscle of emotion. It contracts not only to keep you alive, but to keep you engaged in the dance of life. And when you walk with intention, you give that heart exactly what it needs: movement that matters. If you've been discouraged because you can't hit 10,000 steps, let me lovingly tell you, let it go. Let the shame fall away. You have nothing to prove. You don't need to keep up. You don't need to meet anyone's expectations but your own. If you can walk 2,000 steps a day, bless those steps. If you can walk 500, walk them with pride. And if all you can do is sit in a chair and lift your legs, then do that with grace and strength, knowing that your healing begins with intention, not distance. Because what truly matters is showing up for yourself every day, in your own way, whether it's walking, stretching, dancing, breathing. If you do it with awareness and love, you are healing. And healing isn't linear. It doesn't follow a straight path. Some days you'll feel strong, other days, tired. Some mornings your knees may ache. Other mornings your heart might feel heavy, but still you rise, you move, you walk. Not to chase a number, but to honor the miracle of being alive. And that, dear friend, is where transformation begins. Let me share something personal. I've seen people with advanced heart conditions who could barely walk a block, but every day they did what they could. They smiled, they breathed deeply, they gave thanks. And their hearts grew stronger, not because of how far they walked, but because of how deeply they believed in life. I've also seen people chasing fitness metrics with no joy, no purpose, and their stress levels rose, their inflammation spiked. Their hearts, ironically, became weaker. Why? Because health is not just physical, it's spiritual, emotional, energetic. So if you walk today, walk like your steps are prayers, like your breath is a song, like your body is not failing you but fighting for you, because it is. Even now your heart is beating faithfully, your lungs are expanding, your cells are repairing, your spirit is still reaching toward the light. Don't reduce that miracle to a number. Let every step be sacred. Let every moment of movement, no matter how small, be a declaration. I am still here. I still matter. I still have life to live, love to give, and dreams yet to walk into. And when you walk like that, when your purpose is clear, when your steps are filled with presence, you'll find that you don't need 10,000 steps. You just need this step. The one you're taking right now. That's where healing begins. That's where joy lives. That's where your heart whispers, "Thank you." So put on your shoes, or just plant your feet firmly on the earth. Breathe in deeply. Smile softly. And walk, not to reach a number, but to return to yourself, to honor your journey, to reclaim your strength. And if no one has told you today, let me say it now. You're doing enough. You're walking beautifully. You are healing, one sacred step at a time. And that is more than enough. They say time is money. But when it comes to your health, especially your heart, time is far more precious than any currency. And how you spend that time, how you move within it, matters infinitely more than how much of it you fill with motion. Because not all movement is the same. Not all steps are equal. The world may applaud your speed, your stats, your metrics, but your heart, that silent and faithful organ that beats behind the scenes day after day, year after year, only responds to one thing: your presence. We've been conditioned to believe that health is a numbers game, that more movement, more reps, more miles, more effort means better results, that to be healthy we must push, strive, hustle. We must walk faster, lift heavier, stretch farther, and do more. Always more. But in that race to accumulate quantity, we've lost something sacred, something the body has known for thousands of years, even when the mind forgets. And that truth is this: healing doesn't come from how much you move. It comes from how you move. A slow, mindful 20-minute walk, one where you inhale deeply, feel the breeze on your skin, notice the sunlight flickering through the leaves, and walk as though every step is a prayer, does more for your heart than rushing through 10,000 distracted steps with tension in your jaw and stress in your thoughts. Because in that stillness, in that quiet rhythm of breath and awareness, your nervous system relaxes, your heart rate stabilizes, your cortisol lowers, your parasympathetic system, the one responsible for healing, digestion, and regeneration, activates. This is the space where your heart thrives. Movement heals, yes, but presence empowers. It transforms. There is a kind of movement that feels like punishment. You've felt it before, the pressure to keep up, to meet goals, to burn calories, or beat yesterday. It's the kind of movement driven by fear, fear of aging, fear of weakness, fear of not being enough. But your body, your spirit, they were never meant to be ruled by fear. They respond to love. They respond to compassion. They respond to the kind of movement that whispers, "You are safe. You are enough. You are healing." There's a different way to move. One that honors your humanity. One that celebrates the miracle of your body rather than trying to fix or force it. It looks like rising slowly in the morning, stretching gently, feeling the joints awaken, the spine lengthen, the lungs expand. It looks like standing barefoot on the earth even for a few moments and feeling the connection between your feet and the ground that holds you. It looks like reaching your arms to the sky, not in a rush to accomplish anything, but in gratitude for another breath, another chance, another day. This is intentional movement. Movement that is not rushed, not driven by guilt or comparison, but rooted in awareness. It's the kind of movement your heart knows intimately, because your heart beats with rhythm, not with rush. Your heart doesn't care how far you walk, but how fully you show up with each step. And when you walk with intention, with breath, with gratitude, your heart listens. Your whole body listens. Think about this. When was the last time you moved without trying to get somewhere? When was the last time you walked just to feel the breeze, or stretched just to feel more connected to your body, or breathed deeply just because it felt good? That kind of movement doesn't get tracked on a fitness app. It doesn't earn medals or metrics, but it nourishes you in ways that no number ever could. Your body is not a machine to be optimized. It is a temple to be honored. When you slow down, when you move intentionally, something shifts. You begin to hear what your body's been trying to tell you all along. That it's tired, that it needs rest, that it longs for gentleness, that it wants to move not because it has to, but because it loves to, because it remembers how movement once felt like joy, like dancing barefoot in the kitchen or swaying with the music of your youth or walking hand in hand with someone you love. That is sacred movement. Your body longs to return to that. Not boot camps or punishing workouts, but movement that feels like coming home. And let's not forget that your heart is more than a muscle. It's a compass. It's your emotional center. Every heartbreak, every loss, every joy, it all leaves its imprint there. And when you move with intention, you're not just exercising, you're expressing. You're allowing your heart to breathe, to grieve, to release, to remember. So when you walk, walk like it matters. Walk slowly, breathe deeply. Let your arms swing freely. Let your gaze soften, let your thoughts quiet. Walk like every step is sacred. Because it is. Because you are. And if walking isn't possible for you today, that's okay. Intentional movement doesn't require legs. It requires love. You can move your arms slowly, like waves. You can sway your spine gently in your chair. You can close your eyes and breathe in rhythm with your heartbeat. This too is movement. This too is medicine. Some of the most powerful healing doesn't come from effort. It comes from surrender, from listening, from being willing to do less but feel more. And yes, there will be voices that tell you otherwise, that tell you to push harder, go faster, do more. But those voices are often rooted in fear. You don't need to compete. You don't need to compare. You don't need to catch up. You're not behind. You're on your own path. And the most beautiful thing you can do for your heart is to walk that path slowly, intentionally, lovingly. The heart is patient. It doesn't rush, it doesn't demand perfection, it simply asks for your attention. So give it. Give your heart that sacred gift. Not tomorrow, not when you have more time, but now. Take 5 minutes, 10. Stand up, stretch slowly, roll your shoulders back. Feel the breath move through your chest. Maybe step outside, feel the sun on your skin, or the wind, or the rain. Let your senses awaken. You don't need to go far, you just need to go deep, into presence, into awareness, into yourself. Because when you move this way, your body doesn't just exercise, it transforms, it heals, it softens, it remembers who it is, and slowly, gently, your heart follows. Imagine what would happen if the world shifted from movement as punishment to movement as praise. If we stopped counting calories and started counting blessings. If we stopped chasing youth and started embracing wisdom. If we looked in the mirror not to judge what we see, but to honor the resilience that's carried us this far. What if we made movement sacred again? Because that's what it is. A sacred act. A living prayer. Every step, every stretch, every breath taken with intention is an act of devotion. Not to fitness, but to wholeness, to grace, to life itself. And if no one has ever told you this, let me be the first. You don't need to earn your healing. You don't need to do more to be worthy. You already are. Worthy. Loved. Enough. So move. Not to change who you are, but to remember who you've always been. Move like the earth is watching. Like the trees are bowing in encouragement. Like the sky itself is cheering you on. Move slowly. Move gently. Move intentionally, and let every movement become a sacred conversation between your soul and your body. Let every breath become a declaration. I am here. I am healing. I am alive. Because in the end, it's not how far you walk, but how deeply you feel each step. It's not how fast you move, but how present you are while doing it. And it's not how much you do, but how lovingly you do it, that creates true, lasting transformation. This is not just health. This is wholeness, and your heart knows the difference. So breathe, stretch, move. Not with urgency, but with reverence. Not for the world's approval, but for your own peace. This is sacred movement, and every moment of it matters. You want to protect your heart? Move daily, connect deeply, and smile often. Not just because a doctor said so, not because a statistic told you it might help, but because your heart knows. Deep down, it was made for this. It was made to feel. To beat not just from blood flow, but from life flow, from joy, from connection, from love. This isn't about counting calories or hitting some arbitrary number of steps. This is about waking up to what your heart has been trying to tell you all along. You are here to live, not just to survive. We've built a world around metrics. We track steps, measure heart rates, log calories, and download apps to remind us to stand, breathe, or even drink water. But in all that tracking, we've lost something sacred. We've forgotten that the heart is not a machine to be fine-tuned. It is a living, feeling compass. It doesn't crave perfection. It craves purpose. It doesn't beat harder for numbers. It beats louder for meaning. Look at those who live long, vibrant lives. The ones whose eyes still sparkle in their 90s. They all have one thing in common. They move with consistency. They connect with passion. And they carry a sense of inner peace that can't be measured. They laugh with their grandchildren. They dance in the kitchen to old records. They tend to their gardens not as exercise, but as ritual. They walk not just for the sake of walking, but because they love the smell of the morning dew, the sound of the birds, the way the sunlight filters through the trees. Their movement is not a task. It is a celebration. Moderate daily movement, a walk, a gentle stretch, a bit of light gardening, done with presence, with joy, and with love, has been shown to lower blood pressure, reduce stress, and protect the heart more than any high-intensity regimen ever could. It's not about breaking records. It's about building rituals, routines that wrap around your day like a warm hug. It's about staying in motion, not for the sake of achievement, but for the art of being alive. And then there is connection, the real medicine. We live in a world more connected than ever through screens, and yet we are lonelier than we've ever been. But your heart remembers the warmth of a real conversation, the healing power of laughter, the deep comfort of a hand held during difficult times. Connection is not just emotional nourishment, it is physiological medicine. Studies have shown that people with strong social bonds recover faster from illness, have lower levels of inflammation, and experience fewer heart-related issues. Why? Because love changes the biochemistry of the body. It reduces stress hormones. It releases oxytocin. It slows the heart rate in times of distress. It builds resilience. A meaningful conversation over tea, a belly laugh with a friend, singing along to your favorite song from 40 years ago, sitting in silence with someone who sees you. These things are not small, they are everything. They are the threads that keep the heart open and soft even in a world that tries to harden us. Add prayer to that mix, or meditation, reflection, mindfulness. Whatever your spiritual practice looks like, know this. The heart responds to stillness. It responds to gratitude. When you take a moment each day to pause and give thanks, to breathe deeply and remember that you are alive, your heart relaxes. It lets go of the tension it's been holding. And that, more than any pill, any supplement, any machine, is healing. There is a profound difference between existing and living, between surviving and thriving. The real heart saver is not a gym membership or a fitness tracker. It's not even a doctor's report. It is daily movement, not driven by fear, but by love. It is deep connection, not through pixels, but through presence. It is the simple and sacred choice to engage fully with life. And it starts small. 5 minutes of stretching in the morning while the coffee brews. A phone call to someone you miss. Dancing to a song that makes you feel 17 again. Smiling at a stranger, holding the door open. Writing in a gratitude journal. Taking a walk not to count steps but to count blessings. Letting your dog tug you towards the next adventure. These are not distractions from health. These are the foundations of it. You want to protect your heart? Nourish it. Feed it with movement and laughter. Bathe it in song. Hold it in prayer. Share it with others. Let it beat with meaning. Let it speak through your life. Even science is catching up to what ancient wisdom has always known. That joy heals. That laughter is medicine. That the heart responds to music and dance and nature and kindness like a flower opening in the sun. That purpose adds years to your life, and life to your years. We must stop looking at health as a checklist. It is not just a thing to manage, or a disease to prevent. It is a state of being that comes from harmony, of body, mind, and spirit. When you align those three through consistent movement, meaningful connection, and joyful presence, healing begins. And don't wait until something breaks to start this journey. Don't wait for the diagnosis or the hospital visit. Begin now. Begin today. Begin by standing up, taking a breath, and remembering why you're still here. You have a heart that beats not just to keep you alive, but to help you live. And it deserves your attention, your love, your consistency. There are elders who walk slowly but walk daily, who have known loss but still laugh, who have felt pain but still choose presence. Their secret is not in what they do, but in how they do it. They move, not to fix their bodies, but to feel their aliveness. They connect not out of obligation, but because they know the gift of shared time. They smile not because life is perfect, but because they have chosen to see the good. Every day your heart writes a story, and that story is shaped by the way you live. So live intentionally. Move with care. Connect with soul. Laugh with abandon. Pray with trust and love, with every beat. This is your real heart saver, not a number, not a program, but a way of being that whispers, I am here, I am healing, I am alive, and your heart, your beautiful, faithful heart, will hear it, and it will smile, With you, let go of the myth, release the pressure. Your body is not a pedometer, it's a living miracle. Move because you love yourself. Move because your story isn't over yet. And remember, it's not the steps that matter most, it's who you take them for. If this spoke to your heart, subscribe right now. Because you and your journey deserve more than a number. You deserve a life full of meaning, healing, and joy.